all praises I forever do. I bear witness that there is but one God. I further bear witness that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his living and exalted Christ. And those who may have come today a little shaky on that, after hearing Brother Michael T. Muhammad, your foundation is probably a little strong. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the living and exalted Christ. I further bear witness that the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan is the apostle of God in our midst. In their name, I greet you, family. Assalamu alaikum. I am tremendously honored to be back here at Hagar's Palace. I love this place. I love what Sister Precious has done and is doing. I love her and Brother Edward for opening their doors in this beautiful venue to us. She is an asset to the community, the Black community. Now, a couple of things. I actually deliberately won't have a lot to say. We want to highlight not me or my presentation today. We want to highlight Brother Michael Shabazz Muhammad's presentation today. So I decided to come on first so that we can emphasize our brother and what he is here to share with us, military science. Come on. The fact that we are emphasizing Brother Michael's presentation, military science, should indicate to us the time and what must be done.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not going to be long. I got one slide. But before I get to my brief discussion, I want to make a number of qualifications and clarifications if I can. Brother Reginald accurately described the dissertation process. I just want to make this correction because it's very important to me. Brother Reginald is correct. You write a dissertation and doing doctoral work at American institutions is very political. And unfortunately, too many Black students matriculating through higher education, attempting to get a doctorate, are never schooled on the politics of doctoral work and fall victim to the politics of doctoral work. Every Black student should be schooled on the politics of doctoral work, because by falling victim means all of your work, 7, 8, 10 years, could be rendered in vain overnight.
That's right. That's right.
The process is usually, when you come to that culminating point, you submit your dissertation to your committee, they read it over. The normal process is that you submit chapter by chapter. They review your chapter, give you your feedback, you clean it up, then you submit the next chapter, do all the cleaning up, so by the time you're finished and you go before your committee, all the cleanup has been done. And so it's supposed to be that that dissertation defense is a rubber stamping, because in the process of the chapter by chapter, you did all the hacking. I didn't have that opportunity. I wrote a dissertation that my academic advisor advised me not to write. Because my academic advisor is a major academic, but also Sunni imam. And I was to be his protege, but I was a rebellious protege. I didn't come to University to learn Islam, I already knew Islam. He wanted to reteach me Islam. So he advised me not to write it, but I wrote it anyway. Then I was set up for failure.
Yes, sir.
Whereas you're supposed to submit chapter by chapter and get the feedback along the way, so by the time you come to the defense, it's a rubber stamping. After my first chapter, he said he don't want to see me anymore.
Wow.
Until it's done. So I went to my defense with everything on the line. 10 years of literal blood, literal sweat, literal tears, literal loss. Everything at stake. I went to my dissertation cold turkey. My dissertation defense cold turkey. They never drilled me. I never responded. There was no preliminary. I didn't hear none of their criticisms. They drilled me. And we were victorious. And the one who advised me not to write it had to be the first one to sign off on it. So I just wanted to make that, because it's personal. I wish I would have had the 7 and 8 go rounds. But at the end of the day, they planned and Allah planned and Allah is the best of plans. After the fact, I'm glad it went the way it went. Now when I see him out on the circuit, I haven't yet, but inevitably I will. And we gonna look at each other. And I'm gonna look at him and let him know, nigga, we made it. Now, Brother Wakil, when he was introducing the subject, he met well, but he kind of gave a false impression about what I'm up here to do. He read the title of my lecture as "The Black Woman is God, Examining the History of Religious Evidence." See, that first part, he said it as a statement of fact. So y'all might think that I'm here to discuss the black woman being the God. But actually it's a question mark, and his inflection should have been, the black woman is God? Examining the history of religion's evidence. Now, I, Wesley Muhammad, am not the president of the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
All right, yes.
Philip Muhammad is. He's the president. He-Man Woman Haters Club. No. He is not. We are not. Why am I here to talk about this? Obviously, by the inflection, I am critical of the current in vogue ideology, the black woman is God, stop. And I'm engaged, and there was supposed to be a debate here in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Islam or the Great Mother? Not me, I don't do those debates anymore, those black debates. There is a particular ideology in vogue that I'm going to speak to today, briefly. But you may ask, why? Why are you stressing? I've been asked. Why are you stressing this, the black woman is God? And the ideology is that, not that the black man and woman are God, but that the black woman is God. Stop. And further elaborating, the elaborate myth is that the black woman is the God, the first God ever worshipped, and she's the matriarch. And the original order of civilization is matriarchy. Now, for y'all who want to get slick with the language, words have meaning. And too often we jack words and jack their meaning. And now all of my people would tell you I'm real anal with words.
Yeah, you are.
I'm anal with words. The words have meaning. So if you say a word and I know the meaning, I'm going to assume your use of the word is with the meaning that it has.
That's right.
But most of us, we use words and invest our own meaning in it. So, but matriarchy is not matrilineal. Matriarchy means the rule of the mother. The woman is the political and social and domestic ruler. And so this particular ideology that I am currently engaged in deconstructing posits that original African black civilization was matriarchal. Women ruled the house, the political institutions, and society. Now, the current, I have to say, spawn of that historical reconstruction, the spawn is circulating in the so-called conscious circles, says further that because the black woman is the God, the original God, the black man is a derived, degenerate version of her. Now, caveats, because some of y'all probably looking at me already mad. Some of y'all probably in your feelings already. Let me explain why this is relevant to me.
Break it up, man.
One, as in, I'm a historian of religion. That means I'm trained in the historical critical study of religious traditions and religious texts. Religion, all religion. Your religion, my religion. His religion, his religion. Every religion must be submitted to historical critical scrutiny. And I, as a professional historian of religion, submit every religion, including my own, and my peoples can bear witness. In fact, my submitting of my religion, the historical critical scrutiny, and at times deconstruction, is a matter of public record. So my first interest in this, as an historian of religion who has studied God obsessively, academically, for 24 years now. The last 24 years of my life has been obsessed with the academic study of the idea of God across the globe. So whenever folks start talking about what God is, what God is, I perk up, because that's my lane.
Yes, right.
And when the discussion is supposed to be academic and scholarly, but it's so disabled in terms of facts.
Teach.
Its factual basis is so profoundly lacking. Well, then I have to clear that up. And that's the case here. But there's also a more, see, that's academic. That's my academic interest in here. But I have a more pressing, personal, social interest in this. I had the honor to serve with Brother Dr. Umar Johnson in Boston a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And Brother Dr. Umar pointed out something very important. Black men are suffocated, black men in America, from birth to old age. Yes, suffocated with feminine energy.
Come on, sir. Make that plain.
Most of our households are female hidden. Now, black woman, you are the matriarch. You are. Matriarch is a reality in a black community.
Yes, sir. Very necessary.
Well, it's a reality by default. It's a reality because the black man ain't there.
That's right.
Because the patriarch ain't there.
That's right.
So you have been the head of the household, the head of the community by default. And with what you have, the bad hand you've been dealt, you've done a wonderful job.
Yes, sir.
Before that experience, I used to look at single mothers sideways when I would see something. And I'll be judgmental. Never again.
Yes, sir.
Never will I look at a single mother sideways. I know it's hard. So I have tremendous respect for you, mother. On a sociological basis, let's keep it 100. The social order that prevails in the black community is matriarch.
That's right.
The black woman is the head of the household because the patriarch is absent. So black boys are born and grow up raised by female image. Mom. They go to school, over 90% of their teachers from K through 12 are women.
Yes, sir. Teach.
That's true.
Teach.
All their life. If they are blessed to get a job, there's not a lot of them there because we know to hire a woman and a black woman, the employer takes credit for equal opportunity employment 2 times. So one of the consequences of the black males, so what I use? Suffocation. Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't. The word Brother Dr. Umar used.
Right.
I don't jack people's intellectual property.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Some of y'all ain't jack my intellectual. I cite. I'm ain't know about citing. Cite your source. Dr. Umar's language was perfect. Suffocation. One of the consequences of the black male's suffocation throughout life of this female energy is the feminization of the black male. Now let me be clear. The female energy is necessary and we need female energy.
Teach on the balance.
The truth is the balance. And so in case you want to know and get it out there, the truth as I understand it, as I get it from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and as it's confirmed by 24 obsessive years of studying God, the truth of the matter is the black man is God and the black woman is goddess.
That's right. Come on.
That's why I can't roll with some of the gods.
Come on.
I'm God.
Yes, sir.
I'm still true Islam 24 years later. Don't y'all get it twisted. But the extreme, the opposite extreme of this era by extremism or error by overemphasis. The other extreme are my people, my brothers from the nation of gods and earths, who are loath to admit that the black woman is goddess. They say the black man is God, but the black woman is earth.
Right.
And if some of them, if they were to admit, if they were to use the word goddess, their tongue will wart up. That's the other imbalance. The suffocation of the black male is the predicate, is the foundation which permits the ease with which this black man is feminized today. The feminization of the black man is at gross proportion.
See it, buddy. See it. Go ahead.
And it's so gross, if I have to choose between being accused, I'm not that, but if I have to, if the choice is tacitly approving the feminization of the black male or by trying to stop it, I'm accused of being a sexist Neanderthal, well then I'll be a card-carrying sexist Neanderthal. I'm not. But what I'm going to show is the term sexism and misogyny is thrown out like Jews throw out anti-Semites.
Come on.
I'm called the furthest thing from that, but because as a historian of religion, I'm deconstructing this myth, which, and the reason it's relevant here, the current in vogue ideology that the black woman is the God gives theological justification for the feminization of the black man. It gives theological justification for the feminization of the black man. See, if now you are telling me that as a black man in my home, see, we live with the consequences of the actions of the patriarch. Our community, sociologists have documented the direct connection between the chaos reigning in our communities and the actions of fathers. Now, it's not enough to just throw the father in the house and he's a punk in the house.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Teach him. Go ahead,
man. Go ahead.
Keep it 100. A man in the house who is not the head of his house is a punk in the house. He's castrated. And by this ideology, because see, if you say it's true up there, meaning in the spiritual world, then it better be true down here. If the black woman is the God in heaven, then she should be the God in your home. And I'm saying this to you now, because it's brothers who's teaching this. And I see brothers who teach the black woman is the God, but I watch them interact with a woman.
Come on now.
Go ahead.
They ain't having that.
Bust it up.
They ain't having that. So where's the consistency? See, you put a camera crew to follow me.
Come on.
You'll see that the black man is God in heaven. The black man is God in my home.
Go ahead.
Teach.
The success of, if we bring that to the home, then we're further castrating the black man, disempowering, disenfranchising the black man. And if a black man is going to be in your home, that's the first problem. He's in your home.
Right, that's right.
That don't work. That don't work.
Teach that balance.
Say it again.
Teach that balance.
He's in your house, castrated, disempowered. You would be better that he not be there. He would be better that he not be there.
Go ahead.
So that's why this is of interest to me. Brother Wakil, can I get a bottle of water, please?
Teach, brother.
So, I'm just have one or two things to say. One slide, not this one. These are, no, if it were just an or a popular street ideology, then as an academic, I wouldn't have that. I would have something. I would have something to say, but I wouldn't have as much to say as an academic. But it has made it into academics. There's another book, number of books you can get on the black woman being the first God. You can get Birnbaum's Dark Mother, African Origins of Godmothers. You can get When God Was Black, John Brinson, and most recently, When God Was a Black Woman, and Why She Isn't Now. That's the new talking point on Afrocentric, sir. Everybody in the RPG, the black woman is God. Now,
Come on.
let me be real clear. There are three people in my home. Now, me, my 11-year-old son, my 14-year-old daughter. There are three gods in the home. Not two gods. It's three gods. My daughter is a god. You're a god. So don't get it twisted. Now, but the specific claim made here, which I'm going to address, is that the black woman was the first God. And she was the first God worshipped on the planet. That African society and African civilization, before white folks came out of the caves, bringing their patriarchal God, their male God, that African society first worshipped a matriarchal mother goddess. And as an historian of religion, I want to show that that is absolutely incorrect. It's myth. It can be your religion if your religion is dogmatic. Dogmatic religions have no need for or interest in actual facts. So you can have whatever dogmatic belief you want, but it is not an actual fact. In my Islam, my religion must be mathematics.
Come on, sir.
This mathematics must comport with all known and available actual facts.
Right.
That's right.
And so I wanted to say a word demonstrating the weakness of one of the primary pillars of the myth, that the black woman is the God, the supreme God, because she was the first God that African people, that she was the first being that African people worshiped as God. That African civilization is inherently, historically, matriarchal in structure and goddess worshiping in theology, and the male God, for example, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I'd like to contrast this. And so you know some more context. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that God's physical existence began with an atom in space.
Come on.
76 trillion years ago, there was blackness. There's a power. God's spiritual power was in the blackness, but at some point, an atom was created. ATOM, an atom.
Right.
Proton. But probably at that time, he may have meant quark. From that atom, God built up his physical body, and over a period of process, an evolutionary process lasting 6 trillion years, he emerged as the first human being. God was the first human being, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That human being, that God, was man, but not just man generically. He was male. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and see, some of us in the Nation of Islam, we need a reminder.
Come on,
Wake it up.
Wake us up.
Get sidetracked.
We need a reminder.
Get sidetracked.
We have not been going to Bible study, or a message to the black man study,
Right.
or theology of time study.
Right.
We are heavily influenced
Come on.
by what's going on out there.
That's right.
So I want to remind us,
Teach.
all right,
Go ahead, Dr. Wesley. Go ahead.
that first God was male.
Teach Dr.
Actual fact.
So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that if there wasn't a God, the black woman would be worthy of worship, of supreme worship. She would be.
That's what he said.
But understand
Put
that.
the if in there.
Understand that the God that is a man God.
Right.
I know this might be heavy, hard. I understand.
Go ahead, Dr. Go ahead.
But I'm just talking Elijah
Come on now.
right now.
There it is.
Now, that first man God, male God, the first human, the first God, the creator, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches the first feeling he felt was that of loneliness. He studied himself, found the second self within him, that X chromosome,
Come on.
brought it out, gave it form, the black woman. The second,
Go ahead.
the first in creation. The black man was self-created. Self-created.
Come on. Go.
Teach.
Come on.
Dr. Muhammad. Go ahead.
Come on.
The first creature is a black woman. She precedes everything but God.
Yes, sir.
That God was a black man. She's the first in creation but God, and she's not man's God. She's not man's woman. She's God's woman, but that God, or who she is, was a man. Is a man.
Come on.
So that's that stuff these folks don't like. They don't like Elijah. I post Elijah and they have a conniption fit on my. I post it on my page. They have a conniption fit.
We see it. Wow.
Now, partly I understand because when you hear the black man is God, you look at us. You don't like that. You can't get your mind around it. And everything in your life and our life militates against that. Because you got all the money. You paying the bills. You got the education. Most of you, I'm sure, are the intellectual superior in the relationship you're in. If your significant other isn't here, raise your hand if that applies to you. Don't raise your hand if your significant other is here. So I'm going to assume y'all came with somebody. The fact of the matter is, in most relationships, the intellectual superior is the sister. And so, the reality of your experience with us does not make he's the black God, the first and dominant. That's not an easy processing for you. I get that.
Teach.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we are not a representation currently of that original God. But God came to make us greater than that original God. But if you fight it, we can't do it. Unless, let me say this. We were talking. I'm not going to. Come on, brother. So I'm going to say this is applicable to what I'm talking about and some recent activity.
Come on.
Speaking with peace to the lions out the cave.
Peace.
I love those who love Farrakhan so much they would throw damn elbows for Farrakhan. You ain't a fighter. It's alright. There's a role for you.
All right.
Come on.
That's right.
There must be a supportive role.
That's right.
So in ancient Black Arabia discussed. We blacks in ancient Arabia, at the time right before the prophet, we were warriors. We were always fighting.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Most of them were worthy fighters. And the Black Arabians on the battlefield, and if you could visually project back, you would see these black men fighting a good fight on the battlefield, and on the sideline you see the mothers, the wives, the daughters, not only cheering them on, being there so that when they've taken enough blows and are getting weary, they can look to the sideline and see what's at stake.
That's right. Come on.
And get their second win.
Go ahead. Come on.
Also,
Right.
when they get knocked in the head and it's bleeding, they come to the sideline and the women are there to fix them up and send them back.
Yes.
See, when we are fighting for whatever good fight we're fighting, you gotta hold us down. This is Wesley Muhammad, the preacher. Now, give me the door. The worst thing you could do is not support us on the fight.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
But it's when the enemy comes off with a bloody head, you run over to patch it up.
That's right.
Good. Open it Come up. on now.
That's right.
They doing. They doing.
That's right.
Switching on us.
Doing it every day.
So I get enough foundation.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Sir.
My one slide, Brother Mickey here. Does anybody know what this is? Anybody recognize this? I'm sorry? Not yours. It's rock art. This, as of right now, is the earliest depiction available of African religiosity. This comes from the rock art of the Sahara. Saharan rock art. The Sahara Desert in Africa. The Sahara Desert in Africa, it's a desert today, but 12 to 6,000 years ago, it was green. It was a savanna, a well-watered savanna. There was a major water source and tributaries to the Mediterranean. It was green. It was a savanna. Desiccation or desertification, the becoming of a desert, began setting in the Sahara. At the same time, Arabia, Black Arabia, was also a savanna. The Sahara and Arabia began desiccating around the same time, 6,000 years ago. That's not, the 6,000 is an accident. Something was coming on the planet 6,000 years ago. And wisdom had to be buried and concealed until the proper time.
Ain't no secret. Come on.
So, in the Green Sahara, we had civilization.
Yes, sir.
The ancient Sumerians, those who built ancient Sumer or Chaldea, Mesopotamia, they likely originated in the Green Sahara. There we have rock art. The inhabitants of Green Sahara left a lot of rock art. They expressed their religiosity, they documented their religiosity in the caves, and the Saharan rock art spans a time frame from 12,000 years ago to 9,000 years ago. This rock art is our first empirical witness to African religion. So if you're going to make any claim about what African religion is, you better find support here.
Come on. Yes, sir.
And if what you propose as the original of African religiosity is in conflict with this, then you're going to have to explain the discontinuity between your faith and these facts.
Come on, man.
And whenever you're in a position where you got to explain the difference between faith and fact, your faith and facts, you fighting a losing battle.
Right.
Come on.
This is the most important. This was a shrine. So I'm going to explain this, then I'm done. This is a, I think, 12-foot shrine on a rock cave in Algeria. What we have here is the God, the male God. How do we know he's male, and how do we know he's the God? How do we know he's male? Well, that doesn't make, you gonna see. Now, in this scene, it does suggest he's the God, but how do we know he's male? He's epiphallic. We see his penis, his erect penis.
Yes.
Now that's important because the erect penis in ancient African tradition, especially in Kemet, the erect penis of the god, the epiphallic pose, erect phallic penis. The epiphallic pose of the god was a signature that that's the supreme God. So when you see men, the black god men, with his erect phallus, that's a signature that he's the supreme God, because it's a signature that he's the creator. The creator is always the supreme God. What's the relation between an erect penis and creation?
Come on.
Well, everything according to the African, because creation, or look back, procreation recapitulates cosmic creation. In other words, the creation of the cosmos is recapitulated in the process of the creation of human life in the womb of a woman. Procreation recapitulates cosmic creation. So the erect phallus, the signature of the tool of procreation, indicated that that one was the creator. So we have the God here with the erect phallus, and we have all women worshiping him. We know they are women because in Saharan rock art, the signature of the women are the breasts painted laterally.
Teach, Dr. Muhammad. Go ahead.
These are the women worshiping the man God. The first, not the first, but the oldest representation we have of African religiosity. Now I want to make this point too.
Come on.
Not only note that the horns also denote he's the God.
Come on, God.
The horns are bull horns. And as I document in my book, see, African people symbolized every attribute of the God by his creation. That's right.
Teach.
Animal attributes, insect attributes. So the god Kepra of Kemet is symbolized by scarab beetle or dung beetle.
Right.
Dung, no dung is right.
Yes.
A doo-doo beetle.
Teach Dr. Muhammad.
But the most sacred
Teach that etymology. Go ahead.
articulation of divinity is a dung beetle.
Come on now.
See, only us Americans and Westerns got a problem with that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Africans saw a sign of God in every single thing God created.
Teach on the culture.
So they symbolize every aspect. The chief animal attribute of the creator God was the black bull.
Come on now.
The black bull that existed then, which was a mega beast. It doesn't exist today. He died out, went extinct, 1845. A particular bull that weighed 2 tons had a horn span of 2 meters. It had a distinctive, it was a mega beast. It was the god of the beasts, and that's why it symbolized him. But also it symbolized him because it had a beautiful black coat. The black coat symbolized the black skin of the black god. And so the horns and the divinities of the ancient world, when you see gods, when you see a scene, the scene will have gods and it will have regular humans. There's only one thing that distinguished the god from the regular human. The god had on a hat that had horns. That's the only way you knew which ones were the gods and which ones were the regular humans. Because the horns of the bull came to symbolize divinity. So his horns, his bull horns, that's a mask. And similar masks are used in Africa today.
Yes, sir.
We know he's the God, but no, my Afrocentric family, there's a myth that African religiosity, if it's not worshiping the black woman as supreme God, it's worshiping the spirit, the great spirit. John M.G.C. popularized that in his work, Conceptions of God in Africa. So now there's this mistaken conception that traditional African religion, or African traditional religion, the hallmark of it is a worship of the Great Spirit. And y'all Great Spirit is no different from the Christian's Great Spirit. That too is a myth. It's a reality today in modern African traditional religion, but that's feedback from conversion to Christianity. Even African traditional religion in the areas where the colonists had conversion programs, they are impacted by that Christianity. This is proof that African traditional religion, God was not a great spirit. He was a man, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he was. Now, it is the fact that there were goddess. We worship, we acknowledge the black goddess. And she is in the cave bomb. This is the most prominent. You know she's a goddess because she has the horns.
Teach, Dr. Wesley. Go ahead.
But what you show is she's never worshipped. She's never the object of worship. The object of worship is the God. Now, that's the oldest example of African religiosity. Where you get the African matriarchal mother goddess in that from?
White feminism. Teach, brother.
But you know the irony of that? The white feminists got it from 19th century male chauvinists.
Teach. That's right. Teach. Come on. Teach, brother. Good teach.
The myth of the matriarchal mother goddess started with Brute Folk, the mothers, these 19th century male chauvinists, who their theory was evolutionary, that society began with matriarchy and the worship of the mother goddess when society was wretched and uncivilized. It evolved to the glory of white male patriarchy. So these were sexes who constructed, white male sexes who constructed the myth of universal matriarchal mother goddess to serve their sexes in. White feminists ironically leached onto it, and even more of an irony, black power ikes leached onto the white feminist recycling of the white male sexist construct. Oh, what tangled webs we weave.
Teach that, come on, go ahead. Teach that, come on, go ahead. That's right.
So,
Let's teach you, man. Go ahead.
my point, my closing note. Everybody getting elbowed today. Brother Philip. But it's tough love. Let's be real clear. We are at war with ignorance and self-hate. We're trying to save the life of our people.
Come on.
And we believe that Islam, everything, every ideology, whatever organizational affiliation you have right now is valuable. It's needed in the larger scheme of black progress. I don't care what you are. If you were in the NAACP, the Honorable Miss Lewis Farrakhan gave money to keep it from going under because he sees value in it. What's the NAACP? SNCC. I'm sorry, SNCC.
Honorary member in the
Yeah.
Every organization has value. FCLC. With that being said, I got to keep it real. Salvation, that's too religious language. Healing of the black man and woman, the medicine to heal. See, I don't want to be liberated before I'm healed. I don't want to be in a nation of niggas. I'm sorry. I stay with white folks. I stay bucking. I don't want to be in a nation of niggas. I don't want to be in an independent state of niggas. I don't. I stay in Buckhead and Marietta.
Come on.
Every organization is valuable to the process of liberation, but we need healing. And the medicine to heal the black man and woman, I absolutely believe, is this Islam of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so everything that is in the way, all nuisances on my post, on the post of Islam, got to be dealt with.
Deal with it. Come on.
So this is a nuisance on my post. This is a nuisance on the post of Elijah Muhammad.
Come on.
So we're going to war with falsehood, but we don't hate you if you are of the church of the black woman is God. We don't hate you. We love you. Right. And I would never throw my physical elbow on you unless you ain't in your right mind.
Come on.
We're throwing intellectual elbows because anything that obstructs our people from getting this medicine that can heal is a problem. Now, we also believe that the best, the only proper disseminator of this medicine among us is Louis Farrakhan. When you wage war with him in your ignorance, we still love you as black people. We not going to war with you, but damn it, we throwing elbows. Because you cannot obstruct the people's access to the doctor. You are sentencing them to continued sickness. So, we're fighting. We aren't the friendliest folk that come before the podium. And the minister checked me. Hold on.
Come on.
I smile. No, he checked me appropriately. Now, you need to teach happiness. And I am happy. Man, I hope I don't get in trouble. Messing with y'all, man. But, assalamu alaikum.